Hi, I'm Steph, and this is my blog about thickness, eating dynamics in my family, and shorts. So, if you're from the South, you know how hot it can be during the summertime. I've had all types of beliefs about my body and what's appropriate to wear in hot weather. And when I was in high school, I was one thick chick, and it carried on through my first year in college. So during the summertime, I'd wear jeans and overalls to hide my cellulite, and the sweat would have my jeans sticking to my legs. But it was better to me at that time than revealing all the fat on my thighs. So when I met my husband at 19 years old, I was 180 pounds, and he liked that fat and the cellulite, and he would draw pics of all that thickness. Still, I started walking and catching the bus everywhere with him, and we also became vegetarians. So, all of that and me being in an intense new relationship with lots of stressful dynamics led to me dropping about 60 pounds in a year. And by the time we got married, a year later, I was 116 pounds. So, while some of the people around me were like, is she anorexic? Others were super excited for me and fascinated by my slimness. And I started wearing shorts and short skirts during the summertime and feeling good and looking cute. And it was just nice to let my legs breathe in New Orleans hot, damp weather. And then I started having babies, and I gained 40 pounds with Seth and lost 30. And then I gained 60 pounds with Sydney and lost 30. So my weight began to fluctuate, and I stopped wearing shorts. And at that time, I started wearing long, flowy skirts because they were cool and comfortable, and it satisfied my husband's request for me to keep it classy. So, focusing on my childhood, my main memory around clothes was when I was in middle school. And all my friends got to wear shorts that were like mid thigh, but my mom was conservative and protective, and she enjoyed sewing. So my sister and I were rocking the culottes. And you probably know what those are. It's like the past the knee short that could have also been seen as like a skirt. And by the time my mom stopped dressing me, although I appreciated my shape, I was too insecure to show my thick thighs in shorts. So that was that. So size was always a topic in my circle. Growing up in my family, there were really interesting dynamics around food and weight. And just to let you know, I've spoken to my mom and my aunts about sharing, and they gave me the green light. So I'll reference my mom's family and my dad's family separately because, for the most part, when we were kids, the meals were separate. Eventually, after years of of my parents being divorced, and my sister and I started having kids, both sides all began to have meals together, and it was beautiful. So on my mom's side, my grandmother Mumu, she was a foodie. So she ate and cooked really clean live dishes, and they were always healthy and delicious. And she hit all the high notes on texture and intentionally made each dish visually appealing. She had two daughters. She has two daughters, my mom and my aunt Barbara. So at home, no matter what my mom prepared for dinner, we always had water and salad with every dinner. And of course, we had dessert to follow unless we were punished, in which case we lost dessert. And so sometimes I'd be like, Mom, please just spank me. I would rather get a spanking than this dessert. And my mom also loved her sweets, and she'd keep some rum raisin frugiaglaccia in the freezer, which she dared us to touch. And so sometimes when she was away, I'd stick a metal spoon in that ice cream and enjoy that dessert. It was so good. It tastes better sometimes when you can't have it. So although my mom struggled with her weight, she never made weight a topic for my sister and me. It didn't matter what size we were, and she focused more on our grades and values, specifically social etiquette around not offending people with rudeness, noisiness, and not taking anything that more than we were given. My aunt, on the other hand, she always felt great about her weight, and she always wanted to maintain her weight, and she took special action towards that. So she joined Weight Watchers. She wanted to stay healthy and fit and energized, and then she became a Weight Watchers ambassador. So she was the one who counted carbs at the meals. 3 carb stuff. Later, she was actually a tremendous help in high school when I decided to lose weight. So she taught me the Weight Watcher way, and I dropped the weight for a few months. So that was it benefited me. And then I did it later on as an adult as well. And when we ate with my mom's family was usually for birthdays or holidays. The entire family, about 8 or 9 of us, we all sat around the table at Mumu's house, and well, it was Mumu and Papa, and we'd have water and sparkling apple cider, and we'd typically have like baked chicken or pork loins with roasted veggies and a rice dish and a warm bun, and the dessert would be something like hot apple pie a la mode or Mumu's chocolate prune cake. And the conversation was pretty much about politics. And eventually the adults would turn the attention to us. So my sister Jennifer, my older cousin Wendy, and me, and we'd share something about school or friends. And it was typical to follow the meal with a game of Scrabble. And I still love to play Scrabble. I'm good at it too. My dad's family prepared traditional, delicious soul food. So my grandma and her sister, Aunt Willie Mae, were very close. And since my dad was the only child, and he and his first cousins also kind of adopted each other as siblings. And we all, meaning my dad's family, we all went to Second Bethlehem Baptist Church where I was baptized. And my grandma lived like 2 houses down. So in addition to the family getting together for holidays, for a while, every Sunday my grandma would fix a big pot of red beans and rice with fried chicken or roast beef, string beans, and green rice. And it seems there was always my grandma's very famous potato salad. I still try to make it, can't do it like she did it. And we always had dessert, whether it was like a large pan of bread pudding or a pound cake or a triple layer yellow cake with chocolate fudge icing, all made from scratch. So this side of the family was much bigger than my mom's side of the family. It was like 14 and 19 of us, depending on who was in town and who came to church. And so my dad's family teased each other a lot, whether it be about their weight or what was on their plate, what was loaded on their plate. You know, there was always some type of cracking a joke. And there was a lot of also laughter about what's going on in each other's lives and in the community. And the humor trickled down to the kids. So I perceived, I perceived my cousin as the queen of ribbing. I'd mostly get ribbed about my wide hips and acne, from being called Miracle Whip the Widespread, or Shamu after the killer whale because my hips were so big, to Sweet Nestle Crunch because I was pale with dark blemishes. They'd get it in, and I wasn't without ribbing them back, you know, which also contributed to their own negative self-images. What I learned later, after having meaningful discussions with my sister and my cousins, was how much our ribbing affected each other's self-esteem. So I also learned that the queen of ribbing may have been me. It's interesting the things you remember and how your words can break someone down. So the kids in my dad's family, meaning my sister, cousins, and me, we would eat dinner at the table and then go to another room or the front porch to catch up. And though my grandmother usually cooked on Sundays, on holidays, everyone would bring a dish based on their specialty. So it'd be Judy's sweet potato souffle, Kathy's baked macaroni and cheese, my grandma's potato salad, and for those who couldn't cook, they would charge us to bring something like soda or a sweet tea or buns or napkins or something. So initially there was a rule around eating. So you had to eat all your food before you could drink your sweet tea. And this was to prevent us from drinking the tea and then saying we were full because it tastes like dessert. It was like syrup. Sometimes I'd chew my food and spit it in my napkin and then stick it in my pocket or in my socks. And the adults would periodically check my pockets to see if they were empty before I get up because they learned about this. And my sister's so sweet. She would help me sometimes. She would eat my food for me. She always had my back, you know. She was so sweet. So that was basically the gist around the food experiences I had as a child and where my perspective on having a perfect body image came from. So although I had an issue with my thickness, I'm fortunate to be with a man who really appreciates me at every size. When I eat donuts or any junk for that matter, my husband loves to say, "Ooh, I know where that's going. 42, about to be 43." 42 is my hip size. So depending on what mood I'm in, I'll either laugh and hug him or I'll throw my food down and walk out irritated. So that's how he plays. Recently, Maison Papillon offered some cute shorts and pants that I bought, and they become my favorite shorts. And the texture on the legs of the pants make them fun and couture. And since they're straight legged and sheer, they also are like cool and breezy. And I got them in red and beige, and I've been looking for some in black as well. But anyway, my daughter recently introduced me to this song called Juicy by Doja Cat, and the video is on my site under this blog. So let me just say I love this song, okay? For some, the video may be too sexually explicit, but I love it. It's about loving your thickness. Some fun lyrics that I like to replay are, keep it juicy, juicy. Eat that lunch. She keep that booty. She keep it plump. I love that because she's saying don't starve yourself, and I like to eat. And she says that natural beauty, meaning all that thickness, even with the cellulite, is naturally beautiful, so love it. And then the other thing that she says is, sell it big, don't want to sell you light. I don't buy it. Where the cellulite? He said that body unbelievable. Can't trust the big butt and the Gemini. That's again about loving your thickness and fat pockets that make you shapely and womanly. So you just have to see the video and listen to the words. My point is that it made me feel like I can wear shorts again. So I posted a pic of me in shorts with my cellulite, and that's at the bottom of the blog as well. So thanks so much for being here with my vlog today, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week with a poem. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.